Welcome to Pagan Crafting. I'm your host, Kara. Today we're going to make a sea witch altar for the sea witch in the city. For those of you that can't make it out to the ocean as myself, I live in the prairies. I decided to run around the house, get all my collectibles together, find all my treasures, and make a sea witch altar. Join me today as we infuse candles, make a mandala, and power up our altar. So we're going to start off with 5 candles. I got these from the dollar store. I grabbed the mint green to go with the ocean theme. Now I'd like to add some goodies to these candles. So I'm going to use my heat gun here to warm up. I have some amethyst, aquamarine, some quartz crystals, some jasmine, and some rose petals. Now I started heating this up on my tablecloth and realizing it soon spilt out over these tea lights were quite full. So I had to move them onto a tray. So FYI, do have something underneath your candles when doing this. Now I thought I could heat up all the candles and put everything on, but apparently it cools down quicker than I can imagine with this type of wax. I'm used to using soy wax, so 1 candle at a time to dress them. This one's aquamarine here. I'm going to go through all the different types of crystals I put on here, and I'll go through the meanings here in just a moment. This one's the amethyst. I got put a couple of amethysts on the crystals as well. I also put 1 jasmine flower and I crushed up rose petals. Each one of these got a few clear quartz crystals to also power up and energize the other ingredients. So we're going to take a little metal bowl, a little tray if you will. You could also use a little metal basket. These are at the dollar store for a couple dollars as well. Now this bag here is my grandmother's bag, Eileen's. It says Eileen's bag for shadow box. These are all from Vancouver, the coast of the Pacific Ocean off the British Columbia, Canada. These are all different things my grandmother collected. She passed away at 96 years old. This little collection has to be a minimum 50 years old, this collection, maybe 60. These are all shells from the ocean from where I'm from. I've been missing my island quite a bit, so I decided to dedicate August month to ocean and sea crafts. All kinds of goodies I'm finding in this little baggie here. This bag is old. I've had this given to me after my grandmother passed away because they knew I like to do shadow boxes and knew I loved ocean items, and I never knew what to do with it. So what we're gonna do, I'm arranging the shells and the driftwood and the stones facing outward because I want to be able to look at it from underneath. So that's why I'm kind of bending them all in such a way. I'm using the energy of my grandmother's collection to power up my altar. So in a sense, it's a bit of an ancestor altar as well. It's a homeland altar for me too, because this altar represents my home. I'm from Vancouver Island. I just found a spoon in here I didn't know about. I can't figure out what it says on here. It says Montreal. I wonder if she found it on the ocean, or because I know she collected little spoons. I'm gonna keep it in there. It's gonna live there. A little stone in there. I don't know why, but it's gonna live there. And I'm gonna use some of these shells from my collection as a filler. Now you can get different crystals you can put in here as well. You can put anything you like in your sea altar. You can put more driftwood shells. You can go to the dollar store and fill it up with shells. Just give them a smudge and a cleanse first. These ones I didn't smudge and cleanse. I want my grandmother's essence in this. I want her energy. She was very particular when picking out stuff. So I like the energy of my ancestral witchy altar, if you will. A few of my subscribers have really inspired me to get out this collection and do something with. One of my subscribers were telling me how they have their old collection from Lake Erie, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. Everything they found was just from that specific lake, and it's that those lakes are like little, they're actually shouldn't be called lakes, they're actually rated as inland seas because they're so big. So I'm really interested to find out what she has on this and her collection. Actually, maybe she'll post me a picture after this video. So I'm gonna grab a nice little plate here. I just grabbed it from the dollar store, and I grabbed some sand from the dollar store. I couldn't find my sand from back home from Vancouver Island. When I find that, I'm gonna switch it out. Now I like this because with the sand, you can, before you put in your seashells or before you put on your candles, you can rock a sigil, draw a sigil in the sand. I drew a star, but you can draw a sigil. You can work out something that represents the ebb and flow of the ocean. Now it sits quite nice, but it was slipping a little bit for me. So I'm gonna grab some hot glue here. Because when I start messing around, I don't want to keep bumping the shells around. So I'm just going to daub in 3 daubs of glue. That way I could reuse this tray or this basket if I wanted another time. I don't have so much glue over it. So now that you have that secured, as I was saying, you can now draw in sigils, symbols, religious symbols, draw in a name, a person's name, your name, whatever you want to invoke. I'm going to draw the 5-pointed star with this one. I thought I'd use a brush, be all fancy and shit, but realistically, I wanted a wider line. So I'm going to go in with my finger, which I think about it, it's probably more energy and intention could go through that way. My paintbrush has a lot of my energy in it, for I'm an art witch. But just draw the line with your finger or a tool or a wand, or maybe your besom, anything like that that you use on your altar. A wand would be super cool. Using the 5 points of the star, I'm going to be bringing in my candles here. Now you could use candles, crystals, you could use different shells. Different shells have different meanings. I'll include a link here in the top corner from one of my recent videos of Sea Divination 101. That'll tell you the different meanings of shells if you'd like, if you want to use different shells to invoke your witch altar, your sea witch altar in different ways. Now in my candles, what I've used here is 3 different crystals: aquamarine, amethyst, and clear quartz crystal. Now I'm not going to tell you all the reasons for this as I normally do. I'm going to tell you the reasons why I chose it for my altar. So I chose it for the aquamarine for cleansing, meditation, peace, prophecy, inspiration, tranquility, inner power, strength, soothing, calming, and the safe travels. But it's actually for safe travels on water, which is kind of cool. The aquamarine is also a shielding effect on your energy, and it's used for protection during battle and at sea. So I also chose that rock because it was just kind of cool to have it with this one. Now the amethyst is for spiritual awareness, increases psychic abilities, is for inner peace and healing, and a healing of the body, mind, and soul. It's for positive transformation. I'm going to use it for meditation, balance, relieving stress, and help me with communication. And it's a powerful protective stone, so really cool to have on your altar. Now the clear quartz crystal is good for harmony, energy, healing, psychic abilities, clarity, and calmness. But what I'm really using it mainly for is a master healer. It's to amplify the energy and thought, as well as affect all the other crystals around it. It absorbs, stores, releases, regulates an energy, and it helps draw off any negative energy of all kinds. It's a power-up stone. It's quite amazing. I also used some rose petals I crushed up not only on the platter, but in the candle as well. Now there's red, pink, white, and yellow for all the different meanings, but I'm just going to go through the red and pink because this is a reddish pink rose petal that I have. It probably was once a very rich red. It's for passion, romance, but I'm using this for friendship, self-love, happiness, and compassion. The rose petals have many magical properties and it's used to induce dreams. In addition, it's mainly for love spells, but I'm using this for self-love for myself. I also have a jasmine flower on each one of these. Not only I thought it just would look beautiful with it, but it increases the power of any magic when it is included in your ingredients. It's mainly used for love spells, dreams, to bring on prophet dreams. I am working on a lot of lucid dreaming right now. It's been coming to me pretty hardcore. So I thought I'd see, well, if I can control my dreams a little bit more and go to another level. So I'm using the jasmine flower on my altar for this one. I also use the rose petals, like I said, overall on the altar, sprinkling extra self-love and love to get infused into the air. As I light my candles, it'll release that love into the air. Well, thanks so very much for joining with me today. As always, it is a pleasure hanging out with you. Throw me down in the comments for my community, if you could, what you do as a sea witch, or what you do to bring in the ocean or the water to your altar. Throw me down a like up and ring that bell, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and have yourself an absolutely magical day.